The red-braided enforcer walked through the shattered corridor of the broken future with boots echoing against steel and dust. Her braid glowed faintly with embedded power fibers, catching the dying light of a sun filtered through ruined towers. She carried the weight of old O's and newer sins across her shoulders as if every step rewrote history. The city around her breathed in slow mechanical sighs as reactors failed and memories leaked into smoke. She had been born after the fall, yet trained on legends of before when armor meant hope, not fear. Now she hunted an armored counterpart shaped by the same ruins but sworn to a different silence. The shadows thickened as she moved deeper into the skeletal district where towers leaned like tired giants. Every wall bore scars of energy, fire, and clawed machines that once ruled these streets. She paused beneath a broken transit arch, feeling the vibration of a presence moving ahead. Her hand brushed the hilt of her shock blade warm with stored thunder and resolve. The counterpart waited. She knew this with a certainty carved by years of pursuit. He had walked these paths, first leaving coded signs etched in metal and bone. Their conflict was older than their faces, older than the banners that once flew over the city. She remembered training halls filled with echoing commands and holograms of armored sentinels. They taught her how to break armor, how to find the human beneath the shell. But they never taught her what to do when the human fought back with conviction. The wind howled through fractured windows, carrying the smell of ozone and rainless storms. She advanced past collapsed market where android shells lay frozen in final gestures. Her braid swung as she crouched, scanning thermal ghosts in the darkness. A metallic footstep answered her movement, deliberate, measured, confident. He emerged from the shadow wearing armor layered with plates scavenged and reforged. His visor burned with a cold amber glow reflecting the fire of distant reactors. They stood facing each other, framed by the ruins of a world that forgot mercy. No words passed between them because words had failed long before this night. The enforcer felt the familiar tightening in her chest as combat instincts rose. She had chased him across sectors, through deserts of glass and flooded vaults. Each encounter ended with loss not of bodies but of certainty. He raised his gauntlet, activating a shield that hummed with ancient technology. She drew a blade, letting electricity crawl along its edge like a living thing. The first clash shattered the silence, sending sparks across broken stone. His strength was immense, driven by servos and will that refused surrender. She rolled beneath his swing, feeling the wind of it tear through her hair. Her counterstrike scraped his armor, leaving a glowing scar across the plate. He stepped back, reassessing, recalibrating the battlefield with machine precision. Memories flickered in her mind of a child watching armored figures march to war. Those figures promised protection, but delivered extinction. She lunged again, faster this time, using the rubble as cover. He adapted, matching her speed, predicting her angles. Their battle carved new scars into the city, awakening dormant alarms. Drones stirred overhead, then fell silent, recognizing the authority of their conflict. The rain began without clouds, a chemical drizzle from ruptured systems. It coated their armor and skin, turning sparks into steam. She felt fatigue creeping in, but pushed it aside, drawing on deeper reserves. He spoke at last, his voice filtered yet calm, asking why she still hunted. She answered with action, driving her blade into his shield. The impact threw her backward, crashing into a wall that crumbled. Pain flared, but she rose, wiping blood from her lip. She shouted that the broken future demanded accountability. He replied that survival demanded strength, not remorse. They charged each other again, meeting in a storm of force. Her braid whipped around, striking, his visor cracking the outer layer. He grabbed it, yanking her close, then hesitated. In that pause, she saw his eyes through the fractured human and tired. She remembered a rumor of an enforcer who defected to protect refugees. The doubt cost her as he regained focus, throwing her aside. She slid across debris, stopping near a fallen statue of a forgotten leader. The statue had no face, its name erased by time and war. She laughed bitterly, realizing how easily symbols fell. She rose slowly, letting her blade power down, then igniting it again brighter. He circled her armor, venting heat in rhythmic pulses. They spoke again, trading fragments of ideology and pain. She accused him of enforcing tyranny under the guise of order. He accused her of clinging to ideals that doomed billions. The city listened, absorbing every word into its fractured memory. They fought again, slower, now each strike carrying intention. Her blade found joints and seams, forcing him to retreat. His counterblows dented her armor, bruising bone. They were equals, forged by the same catastrophe, shaped by different choices. A tower collapsed nearby, shaking the ground as if time itself objected. She stumbled, and he caught her before she fell. For a heartbeat, they stood together, surrounded by ruin. She asked him if the future could still be mended. He said the future was already here, broken and enduring. He released her, stepping back, lowering his weapon. She did the same, feeling the weight of the moment. Around them, the city groaned, settling into a new stillness. They knew this fight would not end tonight. It would echo through the broken future carried by survivors and machines alike. They turned away from each other, disappearing into opposite shadows. The rain washed away the blood, but not the choices. The red-braided enforcer walked on, carrying the story forward. The armored counterpart vanished, guarding his own vision of survival. Above them, the sky flickered with dying stars and stubborn light. The broken future endured, shaped by those who refused to stop walking. Continue. The red-braided enforcer moved through the lower sectors where gravity fluctuated and time felt uneven. Her footsteps echoed slower here, stretched by damaged field generators humming beneath the streets. She replayed the moment of hesitation again and again, feeling it burn deeper than any wound. The counterpart had not finished her, and that choice followed her like a second shadow. She passed shelters carved into old subway walls where survivors watched silently. Children with augmented eyes tracked her braid with awe and fear. She remembered being one of them, staring at enforcers like myths made of steel. Now she wore that myth like a burden stitched to her spine. The city opened into a vast concourse where holograms flickered advertisements for a past economy. Her reflection shimmered in broken glass, showing scars both fresh and ancient. She knelt to recharge a blade from a portable car, listening to distant thunder. The thunder was not weather, but orbital debris burning as it fell. A message pulsed in her implant, recalling her to command. She ignored it, choosing the path forward rather than backward. Somewhere above, the armored counterpart navigated catwalks and service ducts. His systems replayed the fight, analyzing every strike and word. He remembered her braid catching the light like a signal of defiance. He had sworn to protect the remnant city from chaos. Yet chaos followed him like a necessary companion. He reached a vantage overlooking the concourse, seeing her below. His finger hovered over a targeting rune, then lowered. He turned away, carrying the weight of restraint. Days blurred into cycles as the city shifted around them. Power grids failed and revived in erratic patterns. The enforcer aided convoys and dismantled rogue machines. Each victory felt hollow without resolution. The counterpart brokered fragile truces, enforcing order with measured force. Whispers spread of two figures shaping fate from opposite ends. Eventually their paths converged again at the edge of the Dead Sea. The sea was once an energy reservoir, now a glassy plain of frozen light. They approached from different horizons, sensing the pull. No armies followed, only the wind across the crystal surface. They stopped within sight, weapons lowered but ready. The sun rose distorted through the haze, painting their silhouettes. She spoke first, asking what he guarded so fiercely. He answered that he guarded the chance to endure. She countered that endurance without justice was another extinction. They walked closer, words carried by the wind. He removed his helmet, revealing a face marked by loss. She loosened her braid, letting it fall free. They stood unarmored in spirit, if not in steel. The Dead Sea reflected them as fractured twins. They chose then not peace nor war, but vigilance. Together they would face the broken future, not as enemies, but uneasy sentinels. They turned toward the horizon, walking side by side into the light. Behind them, the city watched, learning slowly how to breathe again.